All right, hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Going to do another quick deal breakdown for you here. So this is one that I saw posted online. It is a creative Subto deal that is being marketed to an end buyer. So something you could come in with no cash, no credit, no credentials. You could borrow the money for the down payment. You don't have to have a W-2 to prove your income. You just basically, if you can afford the down payment, which is the entry cost, you could take over this home, move your family in, you can move renters in, whatever you want to do with it, and no bank qualifying, all that fun stuff. That's the fun part of Subto and what we're doing here. If you're new here, my name is Dana, and I do a lot of reselling. I sell all this kind of like stuff in the back, but my main business now has transitioned into real estate, and those are like some of my deals that I've done over the last couple months right over here. And most of what I do is creative finance, so seller finance or subject to, which is taking over the payment subject to the existing mortgage, and then you basically just you deed the property yourself, and then you take over making the payments for the seller's mortgage, and it stays in their name until whatever time it's paid off in the future. Anyways, that's a lot of craziness to say. Let's get into this deal. You want to check out a deal? So yeah, let's take a look. So you can see right here the entry fee reduced. It was even higher than this. I'm going to blur the name and probably addresses just so YouTube doesn't get mad at me. But you can see it's a creative deal subject to in Buckeye, Arizona. It's a 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 2,800 square feet. 7,200 square foot lot size, built in 2022, so it's like brand friggin' new. So you shouldn't have to worry too much about a war chest, but you still need to factor some money in for if you do move tenants in and they trash it, or you need to repaint the walls. You know, you have to factor something. But the entry fee is $52,200. $52,200. For fun numbers, to make that a 10% cash-on-cash return, which is what most investors want to look for, you would have to cash flow $5,200 a year or $433 a month to make that work, which means, $433, that's a lot to add on top of the numbers that we're looking at here, which we'll get into. Purchase price is $460,750. The monthly payment is $2,508, but once you add solar to it, it is $2,800. So to add that $433, you would have to get from a tenant, from a renter, $3,360 to have your 10% cash on cash return here. And the reason people want that 10% cash on cash, hang on real quick, I'm gonna I didn't mean to do that. What the heck am I doing? I'm learning as I go here. Anyways, the reason people want that 10% cash on cash return is if I really wanted to, I could go take my money and just go give it to like a hard money lender. They'll loan it out to people who are doing fix and flips, things like that, and I'll get, without doing anything, 10% cash on cash return. If I went to Ally Bank right now and I wanted to just stick my money in a money market account and not really do anything with it, I can get 5% cash on cash return right now. So it's a pretty easy number to get pretty good amounts for. So if you're not getting at least that 10%, then it's not worth the risk to put your money into a lot of these deals. So I can already tell this isn't too interesting based on the high entry fee. It's over 10% of the purchase price, right? You can see that $460,000 right there. You might think I'll get big again. Come on, take your mind out of the gutter. 4.375 interest rate. So it's like, man, it's got to be good at 4.375 interest rate. But with that solar and everything on there, what is that? 2,800 minus 2,508. That is a $292 a month solar payment. You're not saving $300 a month on your utility bills. Stop putting solar in your houses, dummies. And a 7-year balloon. So if you don't know what that means, a 7-year balloon, 7-year balloon means you have to refinance into a new loan or pay this loan off within the next 7 years, which isn't terrible. You want it longer or no balloon on there, but this means there's no give me backs like, hey, never mind, the market went down, or there's not enough equity in it. At 7 years, you refinance, or they could take you to court for not refinancing out of that. So that's basically what the balloon is. It says at 7 years, you can no longer leave this loan in my name. You got to get rid of it, sell it, refinance it, whatever you're going to do. And to refinance it, you got to normally be at a 30% value. So you've got to have at least 30% equity. So just for the, let's use this, was the 460, 750 minus 30%. It would have to be paid down to $322,000, assuming it doesn't increase, and or it's got to increase that much to make that spread. So that's a pretty big chunk that you got to get there. So anyways, let's look at this further. So these are the photos of it. I don't have, it's not on Zillow or anything. This is off market. So it's going to kick me off of here. Anyways, these are the photos that were sent along with the listing. So that's the kitchen. That is the living room. You can see it's a 2-story, pretty high ceilings on here, tile floors, bedroom, standard average carpet, tile floors. It's got a plastic tub surround, Corian tops. Looks like maybe a den kind of area. So nothing super exciting on this one. Backyard is blank. It is just dirt. That's the living room. Those are mortgage statements, so I'm not going to show those. So anyways, that is the property. This is PropStream. So you can see it right here that it is listed as vacant land. So it was so new built that it's not even pulling up as a single family thing if you were pulling up a list. So shout out anybody who is using PropStream. You probably should be using vacant land in your searches. This one is not pulling all the information because it says that it's also got a 6% mortgage rate, 6.94% mortgage rate. My daughter is going to get out of school, but this says the estimated loan payments around $2,700, so it's slightly off on there. You can't always trust PropStream for 100% of everything, but I just look at this to see they've been in there for 1 year and 2 months based on this information right there, and you can double check any of the other information if you wanted to. You could see the tax information, that it is $203 per year, and guess what? That is going to go up because it is still being assessed as vacant land. So if the escrow hasn't caught up, that $2,800 monthly payment is going to go even higher than that. So that is something that you want to look at if it is listed as vacant land. So let's go to Privy real quick. If you are not using Privy, you really should. I've got a link in the description down below for free 7-day trials to PropStream, Batch, a lot of other stuff. Privy is around $100 a month. I forget what the update is, but it's around $100 a month. And it gives you access to really quick, easy comping. So if we're looking at this deal here, you can see there's 117 properties have sold in the last year around this one. And I have it sorted by square footage on this one. Normally I like to sort by sold, and you can see how long the DOM is days on market, and these ones took 120 days to sell. 113, 191, 265, 60, 338, 342, 411. This is not an exciting market, right? I can see right now this is not an exciting market because it's going to take forever for somebody to sell. So I could see why they might consider subject to. You can see based off square footage, ours was 2,821 square feet, 4 beds. So all these ones kind of fall in line with 4 or 5 beds. The square footage is all about in line, and you can see 499, 490, 520, 475, 395, 449. So it's not out of line. The purchase price $467.50, but it's not a deal, right? You're not getting a discount on purchasing this property versus what anybody else is paying in the market. And normally you want to be, if it's not going to be a great cash flow deal, you want it to at least be that you're getting it under market, something like that. So we're getting it around market, right? So slightly under, but around market. You can see if you go to pending, right now similar, they're in the like high 3s, low 4s. There's nothing much higher, so maybe it's not even as good a deal. There's 35 active listings within a half a mile, 485, 490, and then it drops down to the high 3s, low 4s. And then you can see rentals right here. Again, I'll pop myself back on the screen just so you can have something pretty to look at. While you're looking at it. And so again, square footage wise, you can see on here 4 beds. I sorted by square footage based on what is actively renting right now. And 4 beds, 5 beds, these are all kind of right around the same as our property. 2,300, 2,100, 19, 22, 22, 27, 21, 21, 20. This 3,000 is actually reporting incorrect. I pull it up on Zillow, and it's only $22.99, so that's incorrect. So market rent on this property is probably about $2,200 to $2,300. So we can use that to give ourselves that number, and to double check our number, we can go to the market calculator at affordablehousing.com/market-rent estimator. Check the description if you want to get the link that should be in there, but you basically punch in your address right here. Let me move myself because I'm probably blocking it a little bit. You put in the address and the bedrooms and you click get estimate. There are 25 units within a half a mile of this property, and it says about 2154. What did I say? 2200, right smack dab in the middle. So we know I'm pretty dang accurate with those numbers. This number's not always accurate, but it's a good way to double check your own numbers. So based off of everything that we have to review here, would you buy this property? Would you pay $52,200 plus another $5,000 in closing costs, so $57,500 to get into this property at market values, or maybe even a hair high, and be looking at, I'm curious, what is that? Well, you can't even do a cash on cash return on this because it's going to be negative. So if we're getting $2,200, $2,300, let's just say we got high market. Let's say we got $2,500. We got above market rents on this. The PITI is $2,800, and it's going to go up when the taxes catch up on there. So you're going to be losing $500 a month, even if you property manage it yourself, which you don't want to. Let me make myself bigger so we have something to look at. So anyways, it's no deal. This is no deal. And I guess, do we want to get a little extra with it? We could come over here. All right, I'm going to pick it back up right here. So if we want to get extra with it, you could go to Furnished Finder and say, hey, maybe as a furnished rental, bring myself back on here, make myself a little smaller. So, whatever. So you can say, well, maybe as a furnished rental, this will be better. And we'll say we can spend upwards of $3,400 because we're going to have to make it make sense on here. There are 14 properties in the Buckeye area. Most of them are way over here and way over here. Our subject property is about in this area. So we don't have a lot that we're looking at over here. So if we get just to these ones, now there's only 2 properties. One is $3,500 a month. One is $6,000 a month. Whether or not that's actually renting would be interesting. This one has a pool. Ours does not. Probably a nicer property than the one that we're looking at. And it's hard to say that you would get that $6,000 when a very similar area. This one is available for $3,500 a month. This includes utilities. So in furniture included, yes. Utilities included, yes. So this one's not a super nice one. It's maybe a little bit dated, but they could get into this one for $3,500 a month after you paid, and say you just match this, right? So you got your $3,500. What is that? $3,500. That's not $35,000. $3,500 minus. Hang on, let me bring myself back up, see myself on the screen so you see what I'm doing. Anyways, $3,500 minus 10% fees, you're going to get down to $3,150. It's going to cost you in Arizona at least $600 a month in utilities, which gets you down to $2,550. So even if you paid $15,000 to furnish the property and you paid all the utilities, you're again back to $400 or $500 in negative cash flow. This is no deal. I would not buy it. Maybe it works for somebody if you wanted to live in it yourself, but the problem is the high payment, right? So if we're getting back to why this doesn't work, hey, thumbs up. The problem is the high payment and the high entry cost. It is way too high on that entry cost. If that entry cost was maybe $10,000 to $12,000 and there was a monthly payment that maybe encompassed that, so like thinking from the thought of maybe how could we make this a deal, if I was going back to, and I really loved the area and I thought it was exciting for appreciation, something like that, I'll go back to the wholesaler and maybe say, like, is there a way to structure that $52,200 onto a note and it could be paid over time? But as is, this would be a no deal, negative cash flow, negative cash on cash. There is no saving this deal. So anyways, if you want me to underwrite one of your deals or see me underwrite something else, let me know. Hit me in the comments, and at Dana Invests on Instagram, and I would love to do more of these. So anyways, peace.